Dave Campbell's Texas football. Instant recap here after day 2 of the 2022 State 7-on-7 tournament here in College Station. I'm Greg Tepper alongside Assistant Managing Editor of Ishmael Johnson and Dave Campbell's Texas football high school football insider Matt Stepp. Boys, that was a day.
A long day. Full day.
That was a full, hot day.
Lots of football, lots of sun. It was a day.
How was your shower?
It was great.
My shower was incredible.
It was so good. I'll venture to say top 2 shower of 2022.
It's an excellent shower.
It might be the shower I look most forward to every year.
Oh my gosh, I could smell myself. It was awful. Anyway,
I rode in the cart with you. It was rough.
So we have crowned 2 State 7-on-7 champions already today. Let's start with Division 3, the Division 3 bracket. The champion, the Miles Bulldogs, in what I think we could categorize as a pretty wild bracket there in Division 3. Certainly didn't go the way we thought it would.
Yeah, Miles yesterday goes 1-2, finishes 3rd in their pool, and they get on a. That's the definition of getting on a heater today. They got on a roll and were playing very well throughout the day. Pulled several upsets in the bracket and then in the championship game. Really efficient offensive performance. I think they scored in their first 5 drives and knock off Brady 35-19. I don't think we expected Brady to be in the championship game either. So 2 teams that we didn't think would get there. Miles gets it done. A 2A Division 2 school winning the state championship in Division 3. Very cool.
We did say after yesterday that we didn't know, we didn't come away with the team that we thought would be a favorite, right? And so it was kind of, it's not surprising that it was 2 teams that we maybe didn't expect, because we didn't really have a team, even 2 teams picked to be like, oh yeah, we could probably pencil them in.
Yep. I would say it was even unpredictable to the end. You get to the state semifinals of the game, and it was Gunner taking on Miles, and it was Harmony taking on Brady, and I think all of us kind of looked around and go, okay, probably going to have a Harmony and Gunner state championship game, and instead, both of them spring what I think would be considered at least mild upsets, but get the job done. And for Miles, the team from out there in West Texas, impressive for them to come here, and a small team.
I think they beat Hawley in the quarterfinals, too.
Wow.
Hawley Gunner back-to-back. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Sure. The run they went on was awfully impressive. Miles certainly deserving of the Division 3 championship. Division 2 championship goes to the Hitchcock Bulldogs, which may sound like a surprise, but I feel like it maybe shouldn't be. Sure. This is a team that went 8-0 here in College Station.
They look fantastic. You did the recap for the website, so you obviously were really on it, but following that team and seeing the speed and I'm forgetting the quarterback's name, Lloyd Jones III, insane, right? He's going to be somebody we're going to be talking about for the next couple of years, and he's going to be the reason why we're going to keep talking about Hitchcock for the next couple of years. It was
his coming out party.
It really was.
Right. He will be a sophomore this coming season, so a star in the making there. I thought the defense was really good. They beat Lorena 33-6 there in what was really a dominant effort. The defense really held down what had been a very efficient and explosive Lorena offense, obviously headlined by Jaden Porter, but instead the defense really took hold, and then Lloyd Jones III was exceptional in this game. They scored on their first 4 possessions to 4 different receivers. Keep an eye on Hitchcock, guys, and not just this year in the fall, but I would say in the next couple of years.
Hitchcock in qualifying, went back and looked at a lot of their scores. They were dominant in qualifying as well. This was a team we probably should have seen the writing on the wall. They were rolling in qualifying and probably should have been a team talked more about as a favorite.
And this is kind of the perfect environment for that kind of team, because they go 3 rounds deep last year, if I'm not mistaken, and so it's you're not taking too much from this, right? Saying this isn't a team that missed the playoffs last year, and all of a sudden you're saying, oh, they're going to make a run. It's no, okay, 3 rounds deep, you see the talent, and it's okay, now you can build on that. Right? Is this a 4 or 5 round deep team, right? This year coming in after carrying that momentum through, and you're seeing the playmakers. It's okay, even in pads, these guys are physically gifted, and like you mentioned, Jones. I also want to mention Bryce Dorsey as well, wide receiver on both, 2-way player, fantastic as well. This is.
They went to the state tournament in basketball too, so this is an athletic program that you could see kind of on the rise there in Galveston County.
Yeah, impressive, and give some credit to Lorena, who made a great run. They knocked off Pleasant Grove to get in there, and then Wichita Falls, who was very.
They'll be back. Lorena will be back, of course.
Lorena was excellent. Their quarterback, Jackson Generals.
It's a great name.
Great name. Yeah.
He's a little undersized, but
he's got a cannon. He's got a howitzer for arm.
I'll go. I'm not too big to give her compliments, but I'll go ahead and throw a shout out to Ashley Pickle, who basically nailed that. He seemed like a baseball player, right? He seemed like a second baseman, shortstop, because of his zip on his. We see the size. You're like, he probably has kind of a pop gun arm. No, there was velocity. Everything within 10 yards was just absolutely on the money, and he was very impressive impressive to watch, and it made me kind of scared for the rest of 382. It's like, like Lorena's just fine. They're just gonna be fine.
Shout out to Wichita Falls. What a run for the Coyotes coming down from 5A. They get all the way to the semifinals. Grant Freeman's squad is going to be a
Was it
team
their first time at state?
No, they hadn't been in a while.
Okay, hadn't been in a while.
They've been playing 5A, 6A in Division 1. They went, I think, in 2010 or 11. So it's the first time in a while, and they had a great run all the way to the semifinals. I thought they were kind of the under-the-radar team that had a great day in Division 2.
So state champions, the Bulldogs in Division 3 of Miles, the Bulldogs in Division 2.
Are there any Bulldogs left in Division 1 in the championship bracket?
Division 1 got underway this afternoon. The big boys, 6A and 5A. We had a great time watching pool play this afternoon. You can, of course, stream it live on TexanLive.com for free. Thanks to our friends of the Texas Army National Guard. All right, Ish, overall takeaways, what you saw in Division 1 today.
I'm going to go a little stock up, stock down. Stock up, Austin Novosad from Dripping Springs. He looked like the best player out there today. He looked like a player who has been doing the 7-on-7 circuit, right? Has been hitting the camps, has been doing all that. He just looked crisp. Like, the ball came off crisp. He looked confident every one of his throws. The one thing I noticed from 7-on-7 quarterbacks sometimes that aren't used to that type of playing is the little soft short routes, right? Just trying to like float it in there. Everything was a dart coming out of his hands. A little bit of a stock down, and I don't want to seem this as a big criticism, but DJ Lagway from Willis was in the same pool as Austin Novosad, and obviously Novosad's a year older, so it's a little bit of a maturity thing there. I don't think DJ Lagway's a 7-on-7 player per se. I think he's somebody, once you get pads on, he's gonna be fine, right?
Yeah.
He has all the physical tools. The ball looks great coming out of his hands. I just think there's some 7-on-7-y things that he might not be as polished on.
Yeah.
So watching those two back to back was kind of a little stark, and it kind of showed. I think this is mostly going to say a lot more about Austin Novosad and how good he actually is. You know, I don't know that he'll probably stick with Baylor. He seems like somebody that's going to be a quick, even bigger riser.
Ohio State offer is looking pretty good right now.
Exactly.
So. Stepp, what about you, Division 1 today?
DeSoto and Longview, I think, were two teams that caught my eye right away. Longview, not a 7-on-7 team per se.
Sure.
I think they wanted to run power, and we're not able to do that today. But they went 3-0, all 3 wins by double digits. Not something you usually see from the Lobos. Their junior class is loaded, like with a bunch of really good, tough football players. And then you got the stars, Taylor Tatum and Jalen Hill. I thought their quarterback, Jordan Allen, the maturity in the growing up that he's done from last year to this year, if he keeps it up, he may make us look smart having Longview as the number 1 team in 5A Division 1. And then DeSoto, just a buzzsaw through the pool of death. They just dominated in that pool with 3 lopsided wins over El Paso, Eastlake, which we kind of expected that, but then dominating Fort Bend Hightower, dominating Lake Travis. Very impressive. How about this? Lake Travis, Westlake, and Hebron all in the consolation bracket.
Yeah, that's Shadow Creek as well.
And Shadow Creek
in there. And that, to me, is the real the headline for me. Is I think that anyone's predictions for what 7-on-7 was going to be got thrown into the wood chipper as far as who's going consolation bracket. I mean, think about it. Yeah, Westlake going 1 and 2, dropping into the consolation bracket. Lake Travis
1 and 2,
right? Teams that we thought that could win it all. Shadow Creek, I know, was a team we were super high on. They drop into the consolation bracket. In their place are some teams that are really taking the opportunity to go out there and show. Lake Dallas had a great day to make it in there. McKinney, we're going to talk about them probably in a minute. They had a great day. It's really impressive to see that once you get out here, you wonder who's going to be able to handle the moment. You don't want to make it too big, but at the same time, it's like it's a different animal. And
somebody like a program like Lake Travis, they do this in their sleep, right? Like, there are perennial 7-on-7 teams, and you would expect we kind of just pencil them in just because we not only are they good in the fall, they're good in the summer.
This
right?
is their game.
This is their game.
What they do
Exactly.
Yeah. Now I will say Shadow Creek did go 2-1.
Yes,
lost out on a tough luck tiebreaker there in their pool. So they didn't have a bad day per se. They just kind of got tough luck on a tiebreaker, but. Those big names in the big names in the consolation bracket is something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. All right. We talked around them a little bit. Are there any other teams or players that really stood out to you in the Division 1 play today? I mentioned McKinney. I thought the game of the day was McKinney and Westlake.
Easily. Great game.
McKinney. Awesome we all huddled around there. You called it and said, "All right." Both of you guys were like, "Let's go over there and watch this game." And it looked like Westlake was going to run away. It was 28-8.
Jaden Greathouse was making plays.
Yeah.
Westlake was feeling themselves a little bit. They got a little chippy and chirpy there.
Jaden Greathouse is cooking. They're waking up the echoes. And what I thought was impressive was McKinney really battled back.
Yeah.
And there was no quit, and they had the stomach for the fight against Westlake, and the celebration when they win that game in overtime, I'm going to remember that for all. I mean, that was a big time celebration.
Game.
That's a feather in the cap. Speaking of which, teams like PSJA North
Knock
goes
off
and
Shadow
knocks
Creek.
off Shadow Creek. You want to talk about a real feather in your cap as you go back to the Valley, be like, guys, we just played one of the very best teams in 6A, state-ranked 6A team, and we beat them passingly. What can we do? Those were a couple of teams that certainly caught my eye. What about you guys?
Flowermont Marcus for me.
Yeah.
They're just a big physical team. Like, that's a team that can match up and body up with anybody in the state. Just on paper, just watching them, even before they take a snap, there's like that 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3", 6'6" quarterback. I'm forgetting his name already.
Cole Welliver.
Cole Welliver.
Yeah.
You just walk, you look, you're like, that's a monster.
They were in
right
our
there.
hotel, and I had 2 Flowermount Marcus kids in the elevator, and I'm 6'2",
Yeah.
and they were taller. They were
You're
like,
like,
"What's up, Mr. Stepp?" Yeah, hey guys, what's up? You know, so yeah, they got some. They could play some. If we had a basketball tournament, I might go Marcus.
Right,
They got
exactly.
a lot of height in the post there. J.C. Evans from San Antonio Brandeis.
Yes.
Passes the eyeball test. Brandeis goes 3-0. I don't know if anybody had Brandeis going 3-0 today. Watched them in their final game.
Speaking
against
of stock
Prosper.
up, yeah.
They look good, and J.C. Evans is a guy I think whose stock is on the rise. So might want to buy in on him early.
Speaking of quarterbacks, we mentioned McKinney, Keldrick Luster. We were all sitting there just marveling over. And you know, the thing is, he's got the tools, but the thing that I think is great, he's got that dog in him.
I love it. Yeah, he does. He absolutely does. He does. He has to be committed. He was impressive. That dude can spin the football.
Okay.
Well done, Tepper.
Let's transition over into tomorrow. We got one more half day of 7-on-7 here in College Station. One more day. It shouldn't be too hot tomorrow. Not in the morning.
We're going to go 8:45 for championship bracket, 8 o'clock for consolation, and it'll be night. It was very pleasant this morning. I think it'll be pleasant again tomorrow morning.
All right, Ish, give me a first round matchup. I guess it can be in the consolation
Go with
bracket.
Step first. I'm still trying to think
All right,
of
Step.
mine. Yeah.
Give me a first round matchup you're excited about.
I'm gonna go Brandeis and Colleyville Heritage. Colleyville Heritage was a dominant team in qualifying in the DFW area. They go 2-1, but finish second in their pool. Brandeis 3-0. If Brandeis can win this game over Colleyville Heritage, I think Brandeis could make a real run at the bottom side of that bracket.
Temple and Fort Bend Hightower for me.
You were
Temple
excited about that one,
Temple
yeah.
was a team defensively looked the part. We got to see Torian York today. I mean, the guys all over the field. That
And they
team,
don't have Mikhail Harris and Pilot either, and they're still doing this.
They're doing this, and they looked impressive. Fort Bend Hightower looks the part. They looked really impressive. I think that's going to be a really fun first round matchup.
I didn't get a chance to see College Station today, so I'm going to see them. I forgot who they're matched up against. McKinney. They actually do get McKinney, and so I saw McKinney. I didn't get to see College Station. I do want to see what they have, and yeah, that's going to be probably the game I'm paying attention to in the first
And
round.
let's close this all out by talking about the team that I think really caught all of our eyes, which is the Coppell Cowboys.
Oh,
Get a big
gosh.
win over Amarillo today. That's right. Cowboy fight never dies. I'm so excited about Antonio Wiley coaching my alma mater.
Yeah, it was fun hanging out with those guys during the game.
Was it good to put the pom poms on for a little bit?
He was home. When Coppell threw a long touchdown pass, Tepper got out of the golf cart and fist pumped, and then chest bumped to Coppell.
He doesn't get to cheer very often.
I don't. I was very excited.
Yeah.
It's big doings here, and yeah, one more day of the state 7-on-7 tournament here in College Station. One more half day. We'll have complete coverage for you at TexasFootball.com. See you tomorrow.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.